Impotent rage. This idea, this feeling of the fire of James or Marcia or Nina living inside of you but nowhere to go. I mean, you can flee to France, but for how long? How long until once again you long for home? Now, home for some of us is a good old US of A. It's a special kind of home where you're not quite welcome. Come on in, but leave a part of yourself at the door. And I mean, I could, but why the fuck should I? So you rage. And then as you're beginning to live your life, whether you're seeking silly things like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, you begin to find the opposite of bliss in realizing life, the right to live as one chooses without government interference, liberty, the freedom to exercise said will, and the pursuit of fucking happiness, the right to pursue happiness, considered by a majority to be a natural born, inalienable human right. Can I get married without interference? God, no. Do I have the freedom to exercise my decision to live as I so choose? And if I do, am I truly allowed to pursue happiness, love, career, family, a place to live? In the eyes of the law in theory, but in the court of public opinion and perception, lol. And so, that impotent rage grows, and before long, the only thing you know is rage and its companion sadness. You have fire and you fight 1,000 micro battles every day in hopes of changing minds because, let's be clear, this is a fucking hostage situation and my rights are being held. Somehow I've been charged with contempt by those surrounding the pulpit, and yet all I've done is exercise what's been deemed an inalienable right. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of fucking happiness. You want to know the worst thing about coming out, about transitioning, or even both? It's not the mini panic attack or sometimes full-blown attacks that lead to the lack of sleep and racks your brain every time you make and take the tiniest of milestones. Telling someone, dressing how you want. Besides the impotent rage which fills women and queer folk alike, it's fucking dating. If you're into men and, I don't know, let's say you're transitioning, there you are. You've come out. A couple years down the journey, parents and half of your family are either on their way to becoming estranged or already, unless you're some of the lucky ones. Getting settled probably for the first time in your own body. Made the decision to eschew saving any genetic material because transitioning was more important when thinking about quality of life. But then there's men. And now you're a fucking straight woman. There you are, there you have been for almost all of your life, especially if transitioning older, feeling like you just don't fit in the gay scene because everyone you meet tells you you're too femme. Not gay male femme, that's a totally different story, no. Just straight up like being with a woman. And I mean, it should have been the first fucking clue, no? Je ne sais pas. But then, you'd spent an entire life keeping straight men at arm's reach, especially after those emotionally exploitive college years where everyone's questioning sexuality and really responding to anyone paying either person any bit of attention. But straight men, fuck. Like now, after transitioning, you now pray to a God you don't believe in. Dear God, make me gay. Let me be attracted to women because straight men, fuck, the statistics of staying alive around straight men severely plummet. And now it's so much fucking more. Wanting to feel validated, wanting to feel love, and wanting to feel desired. And somehow, now of all the people, you're attracted to men. Gay men aren't an option because clearly they're attracted to men, which leaves fucking men. Those men who fill your romance novels and rom-com movies. You dream of a white picket fence life and having a wedding and getting married and becoming a mother and the queen of domesticity, being Susie Homemaker because you went to university and you got your fucking Mrs. degree. But they don't view us as that kind of girl. So you rage. Well, first, you wonder, what is even love? Am I worthy? Will I find it? Will I find someone? And sometimes you wonder, are you unlovable? Because from the moment you knew that you were queer, different, the messaging has been abundantly clear. No queers allowed in the grand US of A. This is not our America. We can't try that in a small town without ending 6 feet underground. Though we were born here, now that much is crystal clear. We queers have served here, died here, bled here, turned Georgia clay red. Been instrumental in creating change for civil rights. Say it loud, I'm queer and I'm proud. Queer, gay, trans, dyke, pansy, stud, butches, queens, femmes. We can rock a stiletto or a brick, a whole hog or the reddest of lipsticks. And so, the impotent rage remains. You rail against the systems that be, swearing to never fall in love again because of all the men who remain complicit in denying inalienable rights. You know what I mean? There's others who are complicit, but we won't go there. You suppress screams and cries, and then, dear God, he walks by. And all of a sudden, it's like, where do I even begin? So instead, I'll just end.